I want to hit you with just the new format here. I love, and this is what I always say about the NBA, you guys listen to people when fans say we don't like this. You are not afraid of change, so you guys went for it with the All-Star game this year. You and the union got together. Sell me on this format. Why is this going to give me a better game?
Well, first of all, I just want to thank the union, to your point. We've had, I think this is our 67th All-Star game, and in essence, we got together in over an hour and a half or so. We changed the format, which is quite remarkable in this day and age. And I think what's going to make it so interesting, and we heard it directly from the players, is that it's going to create some new enthusiasm about the game, pairing different players with each other, team captains, of course, creating, a rooting interest for them. Guys, a little sort of the dynamic of sort of how the draft went, who was picked on what team. I know. We'll get to the draft, but and I think why I know it's going to be different is the players are so enthusiastic about it, and also I'm sorry that Chris Paul didn't end up on the All-Star team, and it's just the way it goes. But he deserves a lot of credit as well, because I think, as I mentioned in the past, he was injured last year's All-Star game, and he was the first one right sort of after the weekend to call me as the president of the union and say, I know we can do better. And in fairness to the players, like, nobody wants to get hurt out there, and they also want a little bit of a break, but they want to have fun. They want to have an exciting game. So I think it's going to be great for the fans.
I do love that the more competitive. We've already seen the trash talk between LeBron and Steph. But yeah, what I think, that if they did actually know where they were drafted, by who and under what circumstances, because this is private, not just from us, the public. Steph and LeBron did this, and these results haven't been out to the players either. So some of that motivation isn't really going to be there, right?
I don't know what LeBron and Steph have shared with the players, but I'd only say that, and I hear everybody on televising it, and I agree with Steph. He was the one who said, give us a break. We changed the format for the first time.
Right.
Let's see how it goes, and then we can talk about televising it. My sense is that already what we've heard, certainly from the media, even from the players themselves,
I don't know who you're talking about. I've only mentioned it 800 or 900 times.
I think we could have a lot of fun around a draft. So if things go as we hope they will, I'm sure that'll be something we'll sit back down and talk to the union about. I
want to get you to say it on the show. That's what I want. Will you televise the draft next year?
We're going to talk to the union about it, but look, I think everybody wants to televise it, and I'm thrilled people are so enthusiastic about it. So it should be another fun program.
I mean, that's what it is. That's what people want. People just want more. They want more of the NBA. They want to see all this stuff. I would like to lobby. I know TNT does All-Star Weekend, but you guys did the draft at 3 o'clock Eastern in the jump window and didn't televise it a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to need you to kind of move it to the show next year. We're going to talk about that too. All right. I do want to also talk about the timing of the draft. Injuries, and there's no way you can foresee just how devastating some of these injuries have been, but has that kind of, you had to make so many injury replacements on Team LeBron. Have you guys thought about maybe moving it later next year, the draft?
The All-Star draft itself, well, I'm not sure if that would have made the difference. I mean, I'm more focused on the injuries.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's not that much of an aberration, unfortunately. I think 2 years ago we had 4 All-Star replacements, but as you know, we've made adjustments in the schedule, and even if you look at the injuries over the course of the season, some of them, like take Kawhi Leonard, Isaiah Thomas, are holdovers from last season.
Right.
And I think the one thing I've learned is not to overreact to a small data set in terms of what we're seeing this year. I still think over time, by expanding the number of weeks in the season, spreading out the games, reducing the number of back-to-backs, we do think that'll make a difference. But look, the game ultimately is about having the best players on the floor. So the injuries affect us all. And I think in terms of the competition, from a fan standpoint, not seeing those players. So while we want to see them all out there for the All-Star, most importantly, you want your players to be healthy throughout the season and then be in great shape when you get to the playoffs. And if there's more that we can do, we'll do. We have a relationship with GE Healthcare. I have a meeting with the team physicians this weekend here in LA to talk about new ideas, new approaches. Teams are doing a better job sharing information on protocols of rehabbing players, injury prevention. It's one area I think we all agree they shouldn't be competing in.
Right.
So I think over time we're going to do a better job. It affects all sports, but I hate to see it.
I mean, it's tough because I think fans, they feel like, hey, you guys have been trying. You've been doing something, and the more rest schedule built in, and it kind of also gets the fans to see the players where they're not resting during important games. But the man games lost to injury, that number is like 30% up, and it must be frustrating from you guys' standpoint of like, hey, we're doing everything.
It's really frustrating. I will say that don't focus too much on the categories of why players aren't playing. I think you have the unintended consequences when you change the policy on resting not surprisingly, some players are categorized as injured who might have otherwise been resting.
Right.
So I think actually when we look at the league data, the number of injuries is about flat from last year. There's no question we're missing more games due to injuries, but and it's not gamesmanship. I think we're learning there's legitimate reasons to rest players, and ultimately, from a fan standpoint, you want players to be healthy once they get to the playoffs, and if it means occasionally they don't play as many minutes or don't play a game, as unfortunate as it is for those fans who want to see the player play that night, it's in the long-term interest of the player and the team and the league that they get the appropriate rest. But you know, we've looked at the way we've scheduled games, we're looking at length of season, all those things. So we'll see if we can improve it over time.